Hi, I'm Miss Lucas and I am doing option 3, how tall is your residence? So you saw the pictures of me measuring the shadows of the stick and the house, and I measured the height of the stick as well. So I drew these two right triangles to represent the stick and the house. All right, so I'm going to start off with the stick right triangle to find the angle of elevation of the sun. So I know that the actual height of the stick was approximately 32 inches. And the shadow was about 19.5 inches. All right, and I'm trying to find that angle of elevation of the sun because I know it will be the same for both right triangles. So this angle of elevation, theta, I can find that out using inverse trig. So I'm going to label the triangle hypotenuse, opposite because it's across from the theta, and adjacent. So looking at these, I have information for my opposite side and for my adjacent side. So what I'm going to use is tangent. So tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So tangent of theta will equal 32 over 19.5. All right, so I need to use inverse trig to find the missing angle. So I'm going to use my Desmos app to figure this out. So the thing about Desmos, whether you're using it on the computer or on the app, I want you to make sure it's set to degrees. So you click the wrench up here and change it from radians to degrees. All right, once I click that, I'm going to hit functions, and I'm going to use the inverse with the negative exponent. So tangent of 32 divided by 19.5. All right, I'm going to round it to 2 decimal places, or let's do 3 just to make our example closer, or our answer closer. So 58.643 degrees. So that's the angle of elevation of the sun. So I know since I measured the stick and the house the exact same time during the day that both triangles have the same angle of elevation. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 58.643 degrees into the angle of elevation of the house. I'm sorry about the focusing. I'm trying to autofocus the document camera. I'll give it 1 second. Okay. All right. So now I know I measured the shadow of the house, right? The shadow is represented by this horizontal line. So the shadow of the house is 161 inches approximately. And I'm trying to find the house height. So I'm going to label the height with a variable. All right, so now I'm ready to label the triangle. So this angle is my theta. The longest side across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. My variable x is the opposite side across from the theta, which makes the shadow the adjacent side. All right, so I'm going to circle adjacent and opposite because that has my variable and my measurement. And then I'm going to set up my trig ratio. So I'm going to use tangent again, because tangent uses the opposite and adjacent side. But this time I know my theta. So tangent of 58.643 is equal to x over 161, opposite over adjacent. All right, so I always tell my students if x is on top, you're going to kick that denominator to the front. So I'm going to kick 161 in front of tangent. So 161 tangent 58.643 is going to equal my house height. So let's go back to Desmos. Clear out what's in there. Again, just double check to make sure it's in degrees. All right, and I'm going to type in 161 functions tangent 58.643, and I end up getting x is equal to 264.21 inches. So my house height is 264.21 inches. So check out my final video to see how close I was to the actual height.